Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, Horse Girl reviews on products you use. We feature a special guest on this episode and would like to thank Nichole Chirico, Managing Editor of Horse&Rider and content creator and producer of Horse&Rider On Demand, for being a part of this episode. Hi, Nichole. Thanks for being on the Ask Annie podcast today. Can you tell us a little bit about your horse background and life prior to Horse&Rider On Demand?
Hey, Annie. Yeah, I absolutely can. So I have been on a horse since I was like 6 months old. So literally before I could walk, I was already riding. When I was 3, I entered my first horse show in the lead line division, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. As a youth rider, I was really fortunate to have parents who allowed me to show all over the country and compete at some of the largest American Quarter Horse Association shows that are out there. I was 3rd at the World Show, and then I've won the All-American Quarter Horse Congress, and then it just kind of led me to Oklahoma State University, where I was on their NCAA equestrian team. I got a scholarship to be a D1 equestrian, which I didn't even ever really think was something that would happen, because that was a really new program when I was going into college. And then it just kind of kept going from there. I got my journalism degree, and writing and photography are my passion, and then I get to do that with horses. So it just made a lot of sense to involve horses, Horse&Rider On Demand, and all of that into my career. I had been living and working in Oklahoma, and I moved to Colorado. And at the time, I was actually I was producing equine events, so horse shows for different quarter horse competitions. And Mallory Beinborn, who is the owner and photographer for Impulse Photography, she has done a ton for Horse&Rider for several years now, and I actually knew her, and she posted the job description for Horse&Rider's assistant editor, and I just happened to come across it on Facebook, and so I was like, well, I'm already living in Colorado, and this sounds like something that works perfectly for what I do, so I decided to join the Horse&Rider team that way.
That's awesome and meant to be, for sure. So you have a lot of experience helping riders live their best Western horse life through the print magazine Horse&Rider. How does your role with Horse&Rider help you enhance the Horse&Rider On Demand platform for riders?
Yeah, so Horse&Rider, for those that are not familiar with the brand, is our goal is to be your friend at the barn who might know a little more than you do, might have a couple more years of riding experience than you do, and are able to offer advice to help you be successful in your horse life, whether it is just learning basic horsemanship skills, going to competitions, or just knowing more about horses in general. And so when we decided to do On Demand, it was a really cool way to be able to modernize our brand so people can literally have us wherever they go. You know, not many people are carrying their magazines around when they go to the barn, so they're not able to look at our how-to advice while they might be riding and learn what they're trying to learn. But with Horse&Rider On Demand, we are an app. You can access us through your iPhones, through your computers, tablets, anywhere. I mean, you could do it in the tack room, you could do it while you're sitting on the saddle if you have a horse that's sane enough to stay still. But it was a really cool way to modernize the brand and really give you how-to advice from 2 of the top professionals in their disciplines. And it was a great way for people to learn more and to have access to trainers they might not. Not everybody is able to go to clinics or even have horse trainers nearby that they can work with. So this is a way for people to continue to learn.
Definitely. And we've kind of hinted at it, but can you explain to us what exactly Horse&Rider On Demand is and how it's beneficial to riders?
Yeah, so it's a subscription video platform, and if we provide 2 new videos a week from our experts, Brad Barkemeyer and Bud Lyon. Brad Barkemeyer is a reining cow horse guy, and then Bud Lyon does the reining and the ranch riding. So they both come from different backgrounds, but our biggest thing is like, we want to provide great horsemanship with these guys who have worked for some of the top people in the country. And these are kind of the up and coming trainers that people are really seeing out there now. And we chose Brad and Bud because they're both people that we have worked with the magazine for several years. For those that are part of the Horse and Rider magazine subscription, you've seen Bud Lyon on the cover of the magazine, and then you've seen Brad Barkemeyer in private lessons for probably the last 5 or 6 years. So we wanted to do a subscription video platform that provides different training stuff. It'll be everything from horse care, tack and training aids, basic horsemanship skills, more specific stuff like reining, ranch riding, and cow horse event specific stuff. But I think, the great part about the on-demand thing is that it's not too specialized. I think that barrel racers, trail riders, all-around riders, everybody can take a little bit from it and learn how to become a better horseman from it.
Yeah, and really meeting people where they are and being accessible at any point in their Western horse life. Like you said, from amateurs to professionals, there's definitely something for everyone. How important is it to Horse and Rider On Demand to offer so many different streaming types and make it so accessible for riders?
Well, I think we're in a digital world now, and people really want content right there, right then, right on their phone. And I think it's just a really great way that, we're able to reach more people, and not just the people that have the magazine. And like I said earlier, we've chosen 2 professionals that are great for any type of rider, and we're trying to make content that is great for beginners to the people that have been riding, like myself, who have been riding for years and years, but, still aren't professionals and want to learn more. And so, yeah, I just think that with the change in our lives where we're more digital, it just brings more content to people more like immediately. So you don't have to wait for your magazine to come in the mail, and you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, and right at your fingertips. Can you walk us through how a rider would progress through Horse and Rider On Demand, sort of what's available to them?
Yeah, so we're actually in the process of building up our library. This program has been going on for about 7 months now, I want to say. So we're still really new, but we offer new videos every week, and we're trying to do more series. So like you start on episode 1, and then as you finish that, you gradually build and keep going down the line. So for example, in one of our up and coming videos, we did some lessons for people that have never done the ranch riding, and for people who have never done the cow horse event. And we kind of take you through, like, here are the steps to just starting this event, with the cow horse. You start, the trainer, you first start and make sure that you're comfortable guiding your horse around in the arena without a cow. Then you go and you do the flag work. And, here are some exercises that you're going to want to work on when you're doing the flag work. Once you're comfortable doing that, then you're going to go and you're going to start working a cow, but you're not going to be doing it like you see these guys in the cow horse, or, in the show pen. You're going to do these different exercises that are going to help build your confidence, but it's going to help build your horse's confidence. And it's just really going to take you step by step on like how you get to the point to where you're comfortable maybe doing the boxing events at a cow horse show. But also we offer a lot of horsemanship stuff, and we try to make it to where, you start in one section, say you're just learning how to turn your horse around. Well, as you get more familiar with, getting your horse to move his body around and push his hips over and his shoulders, and well, then you can start adding speed. So then you're going to go to the video that adds speed, and how, you want to make sure that you're doing it properly. And Brad and Bud are there to show you what they do to make sure that they're not just kicking their horse and going, they're making sure that their horse is properly, moving under them while, advancing that skill. So I think, it really, you never stop learning. We're always trying to provide more stuff that kind of helps you advance as our program advances, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. And we touched on, you mentioned horsemanship and ranch riding in particular, but what disciplines and trainers are available on Horse and Rider On Demand?
So we have a library that is available for those that join Horse and Rider On Demand. And we have video footage from Al Zunning, who is a very, very well-known name in the Horse and Rider audience. He's done a lot for the reining, the cow horse, and the cutting industry. So, and not to mention, he is just a fabulous horseman that has a lot of great advice for any riders. And then we also have some stuff from Amberly Snyder, who is a barrel racer who's actually paralyzed from the waist down. So she offers a lot of great tips when it comes to, confidence and just like building, and just learning how to ride when you have to make adjustments. Because, she had to make a huge adjustment when she was in a car accident. And then we also have some stuff from Ken McNabb, who is he offers a lot of great trail riding advice. However, those are in our library, but we offer 2 new videos a week from Brad Barkmeyer and Bud Lyon, and those are our Horse and Rider on-demand experts. We work with them all the time, and all of our new videos are releases from them, and that's who we are doing all of our future video shoots with too. So you'll see a ton of content coming in from Brad Barkmeyer and Bud Lyon.
Nice. And you're the one who gets to plan these video shoots and meet all these incredible trainers. What's that like? And how do you select what gets featured from the video shoots on Horse and Rider On Demand?
So yeah, I am very fortunate. I get to work with these amazing trainers. I've been with the Horse and Rider brand for about 4 years now, and I was, part of the decision to start this thing and picking who we were going to work with. And but yeah, I have so much respect for Bud Lyon and Brad Barkmeyer, who, like I said, are both, experts in their disciplines. But not only that, they're just amazing horsemen, and you can learn so much from it. So I was extremely excited to work with them because I come from the all-around industry, but in the last couple of years, I've decided I don't want to stay in the all-around industry. I want to venture out and learn something new. So like something like this was perfect for me, and I just love the idea of having those 2. When it comes to like selecting what gets featured on Horse and Rider On Demand, we've done a lot of research, and we've talked with our audience to see what they truly want to see more of. In the end, we want to create content that our readers and our, followers actually care about. But horse training is always the number one thing people want to see more of. And it's not only that, but problem solving. So I work with Brad and Bud both on a personal level to come up with a video shoot idea on what kind of content we can produce in, one shoot. For example, when our recent shoot, Brad Barkmeyer came to Colorado, which is where we're based out of. And so we did a lot of stuff at Jamie Jill and Bill Toynton's ranch. So he wasn't riding his own horses. He wasn't riding in his own arena. So we did a lot of stuff of like working with horses that you've never worked with before, and just working with horses that, might have different strengths and weaknesses than what he has at his barn. So that really is also something that we focus on, is like, what do we have available, and kind of base our shoots around that. But we've done a lot of surveys, and we've done a lot of research to figure out, what our audience looks for. And for example, horse training, problem solving, and then horse care seem to be really huge hits with our readers and our viewers.
Yeah, and in addition to that growing library, there's a lot of other member perks that I found on Horse and Rider On Demand. For example, you get a free subscription to the Horse and Rider print magazine. How is this edition of the print magazine so beneficial to Horse and Rider On Demand members?
Well, I think in the end, like Horse and Rider's brand, we are, we've been around for more than 55 years. I can't remember the exact number, but we have a really large audience, and our brand, our Horse and Rider brand, is definitely something that a lot of people recognize. And so we want people to know that this is the on-demand video series is not a replacement for Horse and Rider. We're still producing lots of great content, lots of health stuff, lots of training stuff that is different from what Brad and Bud do. And so it's just a great way to just throw in some extra content for people, because, and I believe there's it goes back several years. So, somebody that just started getting the magazine 2 months ago can see it on our website, like issues from years ago. And then on top of that, now they're going to be getting a print subscription every month, as long as they are members of the on-demand program. So you really you're a part of the whole brand then. You're able to get our video content, and then you're able to, have our magazine content, which is really the core of our brand and who we are.
Yeah, and you mentioned the print magazine and then the digital issues. What other benefits can members expect from Horse and Rider On Demand?
We're growing every day, and so I know that we're going to start putting up podcasts because we want people to be able to listen to our interviews. I know that we've done some interviews with Brad and Bud, and just, we're learning more about who the Horse and Rider editors are and the people that are behind these programs, because we don't want to just be a brand. We want people to know that, like, behind that brand are people that have grown up around horses and have the same problems that you do when you're riding and just want to learn more to be better horsemen. So we want to include the podcast, but as of right now, you have the print memberships and then the digital magazine that you get, and then the podcast, and then the print subscription as well.
Awesome. And you mentioned that you recently did a shoot with Brad. Can you give us a little insight on what we can expect next from Horse and Rider On Demand as far as new videos?
Yeah. So just recently, we had by recently, I mean, it's already been 2 months, but we had our summer shoot with Brad and Bud. Bud Lyon also came to Colorado. It just seemed to work out best because Bud lives in Texas and Brad lives in Arizona, and both of those areas of the country are extremely hot in the summer. So we thought we'd bring everybody to Colorado. But with Bud, he does a lot on working with a horse that he's never had before and just like kind of testing them to see, what they would be good at, and maybe, figuring out what their vices are, what they need to work on. He also works with a rider who has never done the ranch riding and a horse that's never done the ranch riding, and kind of helps them get prepared so that they can start working on getting to the point to where they can show. So he does lessons there, and then on top of that, some great just regular training advice, what to do with a horse that doesn't like to back up, what to do with a horse that likes to keep going when you ask for a shutdown, for a spin, different elements in the reining and the ranch riding that people come across that they have issues with, whether it be like a shutdown or maybe getting a horse to extend a trot without breaking into a lope. And then with our Brad video shoot, we had, actually I was the rider in these videos where we're working with a rider who may have experience riding in other events, but has never worked a cow horse. And so we go through the steps of how to, a novice, a person that's novice to the cow horse events, how Brad would, start helping them in different exercises that he would work on with them before putting them on a cow to make sure that everybody is safe. Because when you put a cow into the arena, you're adding a whole other element to, you don't have to just worry about the horse. Now you have to worry about this other animal that's in the arena that, probably doesn't want to, doesn't like listen to you like your horse does. And so you have to learn how to read him and know what he's going to do before he does it. And so it's totally different. I had a blast as part of that video shoot. I learned so much from Brad. But then we also included, some great groundwork stuff. I know Brad has some really awesome tips about getting a horse to pick up a seat and just, how to get a horse to respect you when you're in the round pen and stuff like that. So we cover all sorts of stuff this time around because I want to make sure that we have a well-rounded video library so that people from all disciplines can feel like they get something out of it.
Definitely. I'm so excited to see you be featured, and all of those topics sound extremely applicable to every Western rider. So that'll be really exciting to see.
Right now, if listeners go to ondemand.horseandrider.com, we have a free 7-day trial going on. So for anybody that does find this really interesting and want to learn more, we do offer a 7-day free trial so people can get an idea of, what kind of video content it is that we have before joining. But I think it's just really exciting, and I'm really excited to be part of this, this new way of bringing Horse and Rider to a new audience.
Definitely. Well, thank you for being on the podcast, and thank you for sharing that free trial with our listeners. That's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook and Instagram at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and many more. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of the Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Active Interest Media and the Equine Network.